So we're going to take a quick look at how to connect two different applications in Zapier today to create a document from information that we've input into a spreadsheet. We're actually going to use an Excel sheet that's hosted on OneDrive and connect it to a document that we have hosted as a template on Google Drive. But you could use a Google sheet, you could use an Excel sheet that's hosted in Dropbox, and this would work the same. But for today, just because this is the way that it works at the moment for the person I'm doing this for, we have a sheet that we're hosting in OneDrive, and we want to create a template and a document in Google Drive. So the first things you need to do, and I have some of this all set up already to not bore you on the video of me going through and typing all these things out individually. But the first thing that we need to do is have a spreadsheet that we're hosting in OneDrive like this, with all the columns on for all the information that we would like to go into this document. Any information that you want to import into the document needs its own column in your spreadsheet. So when we've got that, we go to Google Drive, create a document, and anything where you want to replace the information, it will need to look like this. So you will need two of these brackets, whatever you're looking to put in there, and then close brackets. Now, as you can see, like on appointment made, there's no spaces on the bit where we actually want to import the information into. So there needs to be no spaces in there. Now, this is obviously quite a simple document, but you could do this for, let's say, an agreement or a contract or something like that. If you've got a new client or a new employee, you could look at just inputting their information onto a spreadsheet or a form or whatever it might be, and having that information automatically come into your contract or agreement or whatever it is, and replace the information that's needed in there. You just have your paragraphs, and in between your paragraphs on the information that is interchangeable, you'd have stuff like this. So once we've got that set up, we need to save this as a template in Google Drive. So you need to come to your templates in Google Drive, which will look like this. And then you click Template Gallery and Submit Template, and then find the document. Okay, we need to do that to be able to find it in Zapier. So when we've done that, we come to Zapier and we're going to set up a trigger and a few actions. Now, if you're not sure how to use Zapier and not sure what a trigger is and you're not sure what an action is, I have a video which explains what a trigger is, how you set it up, and what an action is, and how you set that up on my YouTube. And I advise you go and have a look at that first. I'm going to assume that you already know a little bit about Zapier and setting up a trigger and action. So the trigger we're going to use is we're going to use a new row in Microsoft Excel. Okay, so choose Microsoft Excel, Event, New Row, sign into your account, and then the trigger that we set up, we're going to look in the folder like we have here. It's under Data, and then we're going to find the spreadsheet in there, which is Master Data, and then we're going to find the worksheet, which is the name there. So you might have a few different worksheets. I only have the one, but you might have a few different ones on the same sheet that you're looking to pull the information from. So once we've done that and we've pulled that through, we're going to go on to Test Trigger, and as you can see, it's pulled through all the information from all the different columns on that sheet for us. What we're going to do now is we're going to set up an action. So the action that we want is to create a document from a template in Google Docs. Okay, so Google Docs, create document from template is the event. Again, sign into your account and set up the action. Now the template document we're going to have to find in here. Okay, now if you've just created it, it should be near the top because it works on a recent basis. But as you can see, I've got two here with the same name. So what I need to do is find the proper one. As you can see here, just below the name, there's like a specific key. Okay, if you come to your document in Google Drive, and this bit here, just after the D and before edit, that is the sheet key. Each Google sheet, spreadsheet, document, whatever you like, has their own unique one. So if we come back to here, you can see the one that I've selected is the same key. Okay, usually I just look at the last four, NIRC, NIRC. That is the right one. So if you're struggling to find it, just match it up with that key. We're going to want to name it. So I can pull this information through the company name from the information that we've pulled through from the initial trigger. So if you click on any of these boxes here, it's going to bring you up all this information from the Excel sheet that we pulled through. So I've just come into here and literally clicked. You can type in as well, so we could search, because obviously there might be a few. So if we put company, I can click that, and as you can see, the box appears. So it's going to put in that information from this cell. Okay, so and I've just typed lead template. So the document name it's going to call this is going to be SDI Limited Lead Template. Now, if we go down, I've had the sharing preferences as anyone with a link can view. Eventually, we're going to be looking at hooking this up to send straight to the client that this marketing company is working for as a lead. So we want to set the sharing preference to anybody with a link can view, not just anybody who with specific access to your Google Drive folder. We want anybody to be able to see this who we've given the link to. Now, unused field preference. So what this means, I have it set to remove. So we're talking about these. This is a field that we're talking about. If appointment date is unused, so if in this spreadsheet under appointment date there is nothing, if that cell is blank, if you leave it on keep, it'll keep that in just as that. If you put it on remove, it'll just remove it and that column will be blank. So I think that looks best, but it's up to you, your own personal preference, what you do there. Now, just as we named the document, what we're going to do now is we're going to come through and we're going to match up all of these to all of these rows, so it knows where to put the information. So as you can see, source, it's just completely matched up a mirror image of this. Source, telemarketer, prospect first name, prospect surname. If you go down this list, it matches this exactly. So you just click on the box. You can scroll through the options, or you can just type into the search all fields available box for what you're looking for and click that. Now, as you can see, you can put multiple ones in. So if you've, for example, got first name and last name, but in your lead information, so if you've got first name and last name in your sheet like this, but in your document you want to have them together, you could put them together. Just remember to put a space in between. You can type whatever you want in here as well. So go down and match all the columns like we've just done, and then click continue. What we're going to do now is we're just going to do a quick test, which is going to create this document for us. Okay, so if you give it a second, you can see that that document was a success. It's created that from the template and it's put that into Google Drive for us. What we're going to do from here is we're going to move that file, because that file that has just been created is just chucked into your Google Drive and is not organized in any specific folder whatsoever, which is obviously no good. We want it to be, more than likely, we want it to be in a specific folder. So we're going to add another action, which is Google Drive move file. So the event is Google Drive, the application is Google Drive, the event is move file. Again, sign into your account, set up action. So what we now have, whereas before when we clicked on these little boxes, we just had the information from Excel. We now also have the option to add the information from the document that we've just created. So what we want is the ID. So the file that we're going to want to move is from the ID. Now, the folder is quite simple. You just click on there and it's going to come up with all your Google Drive folders, as you can see like this, and you just click into the folders and keep going until you found the right one. Now if we go to test and review again and give it a second, you'll see on the left hand side here it's moved that file into Google Drive for us. And as you can see, all of this column has changed into all the information that we had in this spreadsheet. Now from there we can go and we can send an email, so you can use whichever email service that you use, and we can set up the action to send it to whoever we want. So it could be, let's say that if it's a contract for a new employee, it could be sending it to HR, or if it's for a client, you'll need the client's email address in this spreadsheet. So you would need to add a new column, client email, and that would need to be typed in so you could pull it through. So when you click on to here, for example, let's just pretend that this is the client email. You'd click on it like that and it would put their email address in the to column for you. But wherever it's going, you input into there. You need a subject. You can set all these, so we can set who it's going to look like it's going to come from. We can set reply tos. We can BCC. Or you can just say who it's going to and subject and then what it needs to say. So at the moment I've just got lead attached. You can type whatever you want in there, obviously, depending on the type of document that you're sending. However, what is quite important is you can see now that we've got all the information from the move file section. So if we click on this, we've got a lot of options, loads of links that we can use for this document. Now, not all of these work. In fact, only one of them really works. So if we chose this one, for example, the document that you send over is not going to open. It's just going to be a blank image, because this is used for all different kind of things. So the one that we want is embedded link. So just as you could do with the other sections, you just click on here and then you find embedded link. So we can just search for it. Embedded link, there it is. So that's the one that we want, okay? And that's going to send that through. Now, if you really want to get fancy, we could start using HTML, and we could change that to a click here for your document and input the link in the middle of it. We're not going to get into that today. That's for another time, another video. For now, we're just going to leave it as that. So that's how it works. So when we click publish this, every time that we add a new row into here with new information, just like that, the trigger is going to kick off in here. It's got one new row. It's going to pull all that information out from the new row. It's going to create the document. It's going to move it, and it's going to send this email. And that's that. If you're struggling with anything, if anything doesn't make sense, if you need any help, just put it in the comments what you need, what you're looking for, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.